Did you really know who your father was, Mike?
Are you ready to go back to the unsettling realm of animatronic horrors? We can't help but wonder, what new nightmares await you in the dark corridors of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? As Season 2 of Five Nights at Freddy's approaches, is the suspense mounting as you see flickering lights, spooky music, and the distant sound of mechanical laughter? New horrors lurk in the shadows of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, so get ready for another round of spine-tingling thrills. Let's get started. The second entry in the Five Nights at Freddy's film franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, will be released in 2024. Blumhouse has plenty of material to work with, given the extensive history of video games. The iconic video game series from developer Scott Cawthon is being adapted for the big screen in the 2023 film Five Nights at Freddy's. The scary, vicious mechanical mascots who reside in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria are the main subject of both the video game and film adaptations. Fans of Five Nights at Freddy's may have anticipated. Even still, it's doubtful that anyone who could have predicted that the film would bring in $130 million worldwide on its opening weekend, more than 6 times the $20 million production budget. This is not surprising, considering that a single, run-down building serves as the setting for 90% of the movie. However, if a horror film is successful, it has a long history of producing many multiples of its meager budget. After that, what takes place? They create follow-ups and a good number of sequels. And with Five Nights at Freddy's here, that's exactly what's going to happen. Given that Universal has released 13 video games and a ton of books, it would be almost negligent to not seek more motion pictures. As a result, a sequel is likely in the works. After several months, Five Nights at Freddy's was an absolute hit. After its October 27th release, the movie became the highest grossing horror picture of 2023 according to Screen Rant. The movie considerably exceeded its $20 million budget, earning $284.1 million worldwide and $136.3 million domestically by December. Here's what we know about the franchise's future while we wait for more positive news. In large part due to Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard's performances, Five Nights at Freddy's movie formula, which parodies the animatronic creatures found in places like Chuck E. Cheese, proved remarkably adaptable for cinematic viewers. Even though the first film's conclusion didn't specifically hint at a sequel, the idea feels like it would work well into Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and beyond. There will soon be more animatronic mayhem. It has been announced. So, what's the latest news regarding the upcoming movie? Since the first movie's release and subsequent box office success, there have been many rumors regarding a sequel. According to the most recent information, Josh Hutcherson, the star, has confirmed that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will indeed happen. Hutcherson has taken it upon himself to confirm that a sequel is in development, and to clarify its status just a few months after the film became an enormous hit. Respectively, who are the ones who seem likely to be returning at this point? The actor, who was the de facto spokesperson for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, was the one to announce the film's impending release. William Afton, played by Matthew Lillard, may come back as an artificial mascot even though he passed away in the first movie. Assuming nothing changes, the returning cast is anticipated to consist of Mary Stuart Masterson, Roger Joseph Manning Jr., Piper Rubio, Jade Kinder Martin, Jessica Weiss, and Kevin Foster. And on a side note, who is your favorite character from them? You might be wondering about the story plot. According to the sources, though there have been some hints, the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 plot has not yet been fully disclosed. Surprisingly, little was revealed about the sequel's plot in Five Nights at Freddy's finale or mid-credits sequence, which was more of a joke than a clear setup for the next installment. Vanessa's narrative still feels a little unfinished because several plot points, like her coma, were left hanging. The one thing is that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 currently has going for it, other than the main premise, is the practically limitless potential for sequels that horror films frequently present. Given the supernatural element, practically anything might happen in the highly anticipated follow-up, and nearly everyone may make a comeback in a new, horrifying form. What do you think about the plot? Using the same basic idea as its predecessor, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 presents us with a fresh story that plays out in the order of the canonical events from the original story that actually happened throughout the universe's history. In this game, the new protagonist gets employed for 5 nights as a night guard at the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza chain's new location, which features brighter animatronics, better technology, and a menu fit for all age groups. This pizzeria is modern, clean, and operational, unlike the one we visited in the last game, but it has the same vulnerability issues where all of the animatronics want to attack the main character. We no longer have security doors protecting us. Instead, we have a music box that will never stop playing, no matter what, a flashlight, and a Freddy mask that deceives the animatronic's facial recognition intelligence to stop the attack. This video surveillance system and the phone guy instructor remain in place. He makes nightly calls to update the story and explain current events. The story is now told through 4 minigames that are unlocked at random each time the player is attacked by an animatronic. These minigames end up serving as imaginative, symbolic means of telling the player the story without using words or spoken speech. The game still offers an experience that can wear a player out over time. Even with all the changes mentioned and the variety of new animatronics in addition to the 4 main ones we already know, the level of terror stays within the range of light suspense and jump scares, which were already well liked in the previous game. Similar to its predecessor, the player can still play the custom night mode after finishing the 5 nights story mode, with the exception of the protagonist's identity and the game's extremely challenging nature. In another scene, Matthew Lillard, who plays William Afton in the movie, announces that he has agreed to a 3-film deal for the role. He was also, naturally, screaming that he was coming back when his suit was causing him to bleed out after his animatronics had locked him away. Contracts do not guarantee that those movies will be created, but considering the film's success, we can anticipate Afton and Lillard to make their much-promised comeback. The second game scored a pretty pitiful 62 on Metacritic, but similar to the movie's 26% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, this is a franchise that fans adore, but reviewers find completely uninteresting. Hence, it has had enormous success at the film office as well as in the gaming industry. At this point, are you excited to watch the movie? It's easy to see how this could be a yearly Saw-like release around Halloween, although the actors' strike will complicate things next year at the very least. But now that the writers' strike is resolved, this movie might at least be scripted and prepared for production once the actors are back at work. However, anticipate a quick turnaround between these movies and a formal declaration that a sequel is on the way. If work gets underway as soon as possible, a sequel might be available by the end of this year. Filming for 5 Nights at Freddy's commenced in February 2023 and concluded in April of the same year, indicating a production duration of approximately 8 months. If all goes well, there may be a quick path to a big screen sequel. In anticipation of 5 Nights at Freddy's explosive return for a second season, get ready to dive back into the thrilling world of mechanical terror. Prepare yourself for another round of hair-raising thrills, for new horrors are hiding in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza shadows. Will the nightmares come to life again, or will you be the latest casualty of the animatronic nightmares? And that's all about it. If you want to know more about movie updates, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to not miss out on any video and to get notifications on time. Don't hesitate to give suggestions for our videos. Catch you next time.